We're tracking breaking news for you this morning out of North Fargo. A Fargo police officer and another man are being treated for injuries after police say the guy tried to grab the officer's gun after a traffic stop. Officers pulled over a driver around 3:45 this morning near the Fargo Dome, but they say the guy took off running.
Police eventually caught up with him, and that's when the suspect and the officer got in a fight. Authorities say the man tried to disarm the officer, who then ended up tasering the man. There's no word on the conditions of either the officer or the suspect. Also breaking this morning, a Fargo woman is critically injured after a car crash involving a police squad car in Watford City, North Dakota. An officer had lights and sirens on while responding to another fatality crash when a driver pulled out onto the road last night. The passenger's car was pushed into a ditch and then rolled. A 34-year-old woman driving that car was airlifted to a Minot hospital. The fatality that the officer was rushing to involved a 2-year-old boy. Police say the child walked in front of a pickup, was run over and dragged about 15 feet. A Minnesota deputy shot and killed a man who was holding a woman at gunpoint on a bridge in the Twin Cities. The Carver County Sheriff's Office says it all started right around midnight yesterday in Chaska, when the 29-year-old man was threatening to shoot a woman inside a home. They say he then took off with the woman in his car with officers pursuing him. He finally stopped at a highway bridge in Mendota Heights after officers used tire deflating spikes. Negotiators tried to get the suspect to surrender, but he continued holding the woman at gunpoint. A deputy eventually shot and killed the suspect. The victim was not seriously hurt. It's now 9 minutes before 7. We're starting off the day under the clouds with some light showers. What can we expect this afternoon? Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good morning. Well, it's a little something for everybody here this morning, especially in the southern end of the valley, because we're looking at rain showers to start, but we'll get some sunshine for the second half of the day. So that morning drive, we're going to have to use those windshield wipers. Devin's been using them all morning, and we'll check in with him in just a few minutes. Temperatures in the 60s, some 50s out there too to start off this morning. And then heading into the afternoon, this clears out and we end up with a lot of sun and temperatures that are pretty nice. Some 70s to around 80 degrees for your afternoon planner and evening today. So looking outside, you can see the wet roads and the rain we've been having recently in the Fargo-Moorhead area on our First Alert Skycam network. And just a little bit of a mist out there too with that rain that's been coming down. So headlights on, a good morning for that. And checking out your radar now, you can see there's a line stretching from the northeastern part of South Dakota back up through the Lake of the Woods area. And in between, we've got some pockets of some decent rainfall in the Highway 13 area in Richland County, seeing some decent rain, and stretching back through Ransom, Sargent, even Lemoore and Dickey County still getting rain there. And then this does continue to move its way up into northwest Minnesota. Fargo-Moorhead has been seeing, again, the rain showers going on. Mahnomen, Detroit Lakes, and back up between Clearbrook and Bagley, we've got that good little shower happening right now. So again, rain to start, but look out west. We've got some clearing going on in that direction. Already seeing some blue skies in Devil's Lake at times. So we are looking at some improving weather for those who don't want to keep that gloomy weather around. Temperatures are into the 50s and 60s right now. 65 in Fargo, 60 in Grand Forks. And here's a look at that hourly planner. Expect some showers again to start. And then as we continue on through the day, we'll end up with that sunshine. By noon, Fargo is going to be kind of right on the edge of that clearing, and then we'll see sunshine for the rest of the afternoon. It may take a little longer into Minnesota. Tomorrow, beautiful day, sunny, quiet, dry, and then heading into the rest of the week, we start to heat things back up. We see 90s by Friday and chances for rain and thunder. Let's check in now with Devin Fry with Valley Today's traffic on the mid.
Thanks, Lisa. We're going to finish up our morning drive for this hour on I-94. We are heading west toward Bismarck. Now, the traffic flow has been a little bit busier this morning, no matter where we've gone. On I-94, it does tend to lessen up a little bit around the 25th Street area, but the University Drive area, that's pretty jam-packed. It was a little bit more competitive to emerge onto this roadway than it usually is at this time in the morning. And you can see the pretty solid lineup of traffic flow here, over there in the eastbound lanes as well. So a little bit busier no matter where you're going this morning. Even on our side roads, it was tad bit busier in certain spots. So just be prepared for a little bit more of a crowding out here on the roadways. Now you can see the rain affecting the vision a little bit. It's mainly here on the interstates where you're going at a higher rate of speed where things are affecting your visibility. But overall, the rain hasn't really affected the roadways that much. We haven't really ran into any slick spots or obviously any areas of standing water or anything like that. So the rain's really just a nuisance here on the windshields this morning. Now, what day is today? It is Taco Tuesday, so Ole the day at Taco John's. For your traffic on the move, I'm Devin Fry.
Chokeholds are now banned by the Fargo Police Department unless in the case of self-defense. At last night's commission meeting, the police department specifically identified that type of restraint in their policy manual, stating that it must not be used unless an officer or another person faces a threat of death or serious injury.
The Fargo police chief says every officer is trained in use of force, and if there is ever an instance of injury or death, it must be reported and reviewed extensively. To read the Fargo police policy in detail, just head to our Valley News Live news app.
Teachers, parents, and yes, even the children are eagerly waiting for schools to reopen in the fall amid the COVID-19 pandemic. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum says he is going to release re-entry guidance for North Dakota's K-12 schools today.
The Valley Today's Kelly Hubbard joins us live this morning from West Fargo with some feedback from parents on what the fall semester may look like. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Lisa and Jordan. Yeah, the biggest question is how schools are going to plan on opening safely this fall semester, but it's not easy as every family has a different situation going on. Now, Governor Doug Burgum cleared out classrooms back on March 15th. Students went from in-person learning to distance learning for the rest of the school year. But yesterday, West Fargo Public Schools posted on Facebook saying they're going to detail their plans after the governor's guidelines that he's going to release later today. But as we're learning this morning, many moms, dads, and teachers are concerned about the upcoming school year. Some uneasy about sending their kids back to the classroom. Others, like Samantha Bates, say the decision is hard for any parent to make. Now, John Zimmerman says as a teacher, it's immeasurably easier to teach in person than online. He says teachers got into the profession because of their love for helping kids learn and grow. Zimmerman says that some schools are hardly able to provide proper classroom supplies and providing that proper PPE, proper protective equipment like masks and gloves. Are they going to be able to do that? So yeah, these are just kind of all questions from parents and teachers, and West Fargo Public Schools concluded their post saying that they're going to have a more detailed explanation as to what they're going to do later on this month. So be sure to tune in here on Valley News Live for the governor's press conference here at 3:30 later this afternoon.
I know there's been a lot of work, a lot of discussions behind the scenes for a long time, so it'll be very interesting as to what the plan is that they reveal this afternoon.
Many people are eagerly awaiting, as we said earlier. Callie reporting live. Thank you this morning.
The driver of a Lidgerwood, North Dakota school bus that was hit by a train last winter is now facing charges of aggravated reckless driving. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says 69-year-old Michael Scroach told troopers he didn't see the oncoming train. But
they say bus video and interviews with the kids on board contradict that story. 20 students were on board the bus. 5 of them were hurt in the crash. A 21-year-old Bismarck man accused of luring minors and raping more than a dozen victims has now been charged in federal court. Dawson Rouse was previously charged with 34 charges in Burleigh County related to luring minors, exchanging nude photographs, and having sexual contact with girls between the ages of 13 and 17 years old. But those charges were dropped yesterday, and 27 federal charges were filed. Charges include sexual exploitation of a child, transfer of obscene material, and coercion or enticement of a minor.
A Grand Forks County deputy is facing charges related to a head-on crash involving his squad car. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says the deputy was responding to a call yesterday afternoon when he turned in front of another vehicle and the 2 cars hit head-on. Troopers say the deputy did not have his patrol vehicle's emergency lights activated at the time. Neither driver was hurt, but both vehicles have heavy damage. President Donald Trump is criticizing a 3-mile section of the border wall in South Texas built by a Dickinson, North Dakota company because he says the structure is showing signs of erosion only months after going up.
Experts said the steel structure built by Fisher Sand and Gravel is starting to erode from the riverbank that it's built on. Fisher received a nearly $1.28 billion border wall contract from the Trump administration to build other sections as well. Let's get the answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question, we throw away about 20% of this item before we go and buy more of it.
A lot of people guessed right on this one. The answer, toothpaste.
Not in my life. I'm the person that you take the other side of the toothbrush and you scrape it right up until the end. Yeah. Gotta get your money's worth. Mom taught me well, I guess.
The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but remember, the Valley Today rolls on. You can join us right now for more live.